The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Welcome to LSRTV in 2018 here with Myrtle Beach Speedway, the simulation series brought to you by the Championship Esports Association. Glad to have you back from 3 days ago, where the Championship Esports Association had their doubleheader two-night event, Battle of the Beach, right here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. And currently, we are waiting for these little legend cars to get ready to go here for the Myrtle Beach Speedway here. It's been a while since we've been on a regular broadcast with these guys. It's been a few weeks, and we'll get you up to speed with these guys here shortly. 12 weeks of action, and I think only 11 weeks of points action has been stated throughout the season. And it's only going to get more intense as the season goes on. Here in the booth, I'm Austin Coop. Then we've got Kelly Dahl and Chris Murdoch in the booth. And then you've got Siska Scarmuza, always keeping us up in the production trailer with the picture around there for you. Now, Chris, I'm gonna go to you first. It's been a while since we've seen these cars, and we're gonna see the legends out here first at this track. As we always say, these cars are a lot of fun to watch. I think this will be actually one of our biggest fields we'll see today.
Yeah, I've really missed, Myrtle Beach and the simulation series and Championship Esports. I'm ready for these Legends cars because you can really push these cars to the limit here at Myrtle Beach, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how far that limit goes with these drivers, because you can really push these cars hard down in the corner and get them to stick pretty good, so it should be a lot of fun.
We're going to go down to the starting grid for tonight's race here. Looks like Tommy Ryan, he will have tonight's pole, and then it'll be Matt Cucker to his outside, two very strong runners here. And then you've got Brandon Wilkinson, he'll start in the third position with Will Dravicki. He'll start fourth with Matthew Tucker right behind him in fifth.
Sixth, we see the 58 of David Messier. Seventh goes to the 16 of Paul Henley. Gabe Wood rolls off in eighth. Ninth to the 35 of Joshua King, and Randy Yoakum rounds out at top 10.
Brian Simpson's going to be rolling off in 11th. Jeremy Watkins 12th. Timothy Adams is going to be 13th. 14th, CJ Mason. Running out your top 15, James Moss.
And rounding out the 19-car field tonight will be Jeff Grayson. 16th, Christian Peterson starts 17th. Barnes will start 18th, with Ricky Harden starting 19th. And I do believe Barnes will actually be racing in this one, as there is not typically a cone car for this race, but we'll just have to see. If Barnes does not race, it'll be an 18-car field, with Jacob Porter being our pace car today to give us a little bit more on the know-how for this track in particular. Is a 0.35 mile speedway, as we've done over and over again through these weeks, but it does not get any different from the racetrack, but it does get different each and every week from these drivers and their experience and getting better each and every week. I'll go to you, Kelly, here now. This is your first race with us. I don't really know if you know what to expect, but at the same time, I don't know if you've ever seen these cars race before, as we talked earlier before the broadcast.
No, not too much. I've toyed with them a little bit earlier on in my iRacing career, and they are fun cars, and they really have a unique sound to them, and it's going to be interesting to hear really what can only be described as a beehive as these cars take off for the start of this race. Is these things rev extremely high, and it's not a sound that you would expect these little cars to make, but they're just some fantastic little things that they and I'm really excited to see how they race.
As these cars go down the back straightaway behind the iRacing pace car, for anybody who has not actually been with the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, we'll give you a little debrief on how the pace car goes. We'll have the official pace car go around twice, and then we'll have a honorary pace car driver, which one of the actual members of the league will go into, and so that will be Jacob Porter for this race. He'll race in the late models later, and so someone else will drive for him. Really kind of an interesting deal. It really cuts back on the caution, so we're able to see a lot more racing. Here in tonight's race, we're going to see 25 laps of action, and if for some reason they have a lot of action on the track that leads to cautions, we'll have a 13-minute limit on that. I do not foresee that happening, as we have not seen that once in this series so far this season. Tommy Ryan, though, he will start the season right and the year right for 2018. He will go green once he hits that white line. Green flag is displayed, and Tommy Ryan is going to go on the inside, and here we go. Green flag racing here at Myrtle Beach.
Still side by side as they go down into the corner. Brandon Wilkinson trying to stay on the inside of Matt Cucker. Not going to quite be there. Cucker always fast in any car he brings here to Myrtle Beach, and he's proven it right now on the high side as he clears Brandon Wilkinson for that lead. Going through, he will lead the first lap going down into turn 1.
Yeah, actually was not the number 6 of Tommy Ryan to start this field. It was actually going to be the number 26 of Brandon Wilkinson. I saw the 6 on the side and did not see the 2 there as well. So something amiss with the number 6 car, but he'll get back underway. Looks like he is out there, but very, very far behind. He's going to need a caution to really catch up. But battle for third place. Looks like the red car of Matthew Tucker is trying to get the position away from Will Dravicki. Dravicki started in 4th, and he's looking to get some more, but Matthew Tucker's already up 2 positions, one from having that number 6 car go in or come out of the pits just a little while ago, but still on the inside, side by side here, coming out of turn number 4. Looks like he might not get it right here.
No, Matthew Tucker still door-to-door with Will Dravicki fighting for that 3rd position. He'll get possibly cleared, maybe just not quite coming out of turn 2. They are still nose to nose, and that is some good holding on from Will Dravicki, just hanging on to that outside line, trying to see what he can make work. Runs a little wide there, nearly getting himself up into the wall, but still completely even up with the 43, so that battle for 3rd isn't ending anytime soon. Looks like almost a little bit of loss of traction for that 43 car, but they're still even up going down the back straight.
That red ribbon, or sorry, blue ribbon car is really hanging tight on the outside, and so we'll keep an eye on this battle as all the other battles around the track have almost completely ceased. Looks like there might be a battle later on in the pack, but it looks like the 43 just drifts up the track a little bit, loses traction. That's going to give Will Dravicki the position there. That's your battle for 3rd. Now the 43 of Matthew Tucker will have to get traction once again as he follows the line, and looks like I think that's Randy Yoakum who's coming up, or that's the 23 of Christian Peterson actually, who's coming up through the field right now. Doing a really good job of what he does on a normal basis, and that's coming through the field.
Yeah, he really knows how to really come through that field. Looking up towards the battle again, Matthew Tucker able to regain all of that track position that he had lost getting loose, because Will Dravicki did the same thing going through turns 1 and 2. Almost lost it, was able to get the wreck in turn 3 now, as no caution will be deployed, but Matthew Tucker thought there would be. Nope, caution's out.
Yeah, caution has been displayed on the racetrack by race control. It looks like the 54 of Grayson got into the 17 of James Moss. Moss had lost it off of turn number 2 and had thrown the car almost into the inside wall. Actually saved it pretty good, but it looks like he just came right into contact with him, and there was nowhere for him to go. So both of his cars are going to be heavily damaged. I think the 17 of Moss, he's going to get some of that fixed. I don't know where. I think that Grayson will stay. Yeah, he'll come down pit road as well, so they're going to get some damage fixed. But remember, in the simulation series, they cannot get tires, so whatever they have on their car, that's what they're going to keep. So Matt Tucker, he'll continue to lead the way on lap number 9 of 25. These cautions, I mean, these are really just these cautions really realistically will really set these guys back, and it really starts to shorten the laps up. Yeah,
they're getting the what they consider a caution cone out on the racetrack. It's going to be another car, so don't be alarmed if you see a car stop dead in the center of the track. That is basically the restart cone used here in this series. Matt Cucker will decide which side he's going to go on this restart, and he's going to elect the outside. And as well, as he really made that outside work on that first start. Brandon Wilkinson was able to hold on a little bit for that inside, so we'll have to see on this restart which lane is actually going to be better.
I do believe they're going to get the 1 to go this time by, and so they will have 15 laps to go. And yeah, like you said, outside is going to be the line that Matt Cucker picked. Now, this will be a lot like the restart, except for the fact, or the start of the race, except for the fact that Matt Cucker will have control of this one. And I'm really eyeballing that battle for third place between the 30 of Dravicki and the 43 of Matthew Tucker. So as they come through 3 and 4, we'll have to see exactly what they do. Cucker could go at any point between now and the start-finish line. He goes now, and the 26 gets a great jump as well. But I think Cucker's going to be able to get through the gears, but lo and behold, he's still right next to him. He pushes him up the track just a tiny bit, but I think Cucker's going to have the advantage with the momentum side by side for the lead right here and going out on the back straightaway. Coming to turn number 3, the 26 still has the inside, but the 69 of Cucker appears to be just a little faster.
Yeah, Wilkinson not really wanting to lay over as much as he was the first time around, as now he's trying to get there, almost brushes up and almost gets into the side of Matthew Cucker that time, but ultimately Matt Cucker was able to clear Brandon Wilkinson. Meanwhile, behind them there was a battle for the third place position still continuing on between Matthew Tucker and Will Dravicki, but Dravicki able to get clear. And now look at the 23 of Christian Peterson make the move down to the inside of Matthew Tucker, as now he's trying to get by that red machine, and he does.
To no surprise, he's come from 17th to now 4th at this point in the race, and I can only assume he's going to try and get more. Looks like the number 54 is way out of the way. That's Jeff Grayson. He must have some major damage from that accident earlier. Does not surprise me there either. But this top 3 now about to be top 4 is kind of a little bit spread themselves out, and so Will Dravicki is going to be looking in his mirror and seeing Christian Peterson. He's going to be thinking to himself, what can I do to keep him behind me? Because we're going to have 11 laps to go here already at the start-finish line.
Yeah, and you do not want to see the 23 in your rearview mirror, because you know it's just a matter of time before that guy is on your bumper, and you may even lose a position as he just pushes right past you. He's an extremely fast driver, just enjoys working his way through the field, can move past traffic without any problems whatsoever, as we saw just with only a small amount of laps, able to move himself from 17th to 14th, and he's getting closer and closer to Will Dravicki, and I'm sure Will's starting to feel the pressure now, as there is less than a car length between those two drivers at this point.
Yeah, 10 laps to go here now, and you're definitely seeing the distance being made up quite a bit. It looks like Peterson was sideways there for a little bit, but you know what they say, loose is fast, and that's exactly what the 23 is here. He's on the inside of the 30 right now, and it appears there's nothing slowing him down, and side by side, it looks like Peterson's going to have the advantage going into 1, and he is just absolutely fast right here going to turn number 3, or turn number 2. He's going to be on the back straightaway looking to get his hold on the number 26 of Brandon Wilkinson as well. And looking at Peterson's time in comparison to Matt Cucker, he's actually slower just by a little bit. But remember, he's also passing people as well.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth there. As a caution's out once again, that could change everything there, Coop.
Big wreck on the front straightaway. Gabe Wood involved in this one, and it looks like it happened right in front of him, perhaps. Looks like the number 6 of Tommy Ryan got loose off of turn number 4, and then overcorrected right into Gabe Wood, and those two, wrong place, wrong time for Gabe Wood, and luckily no one else was involved. But yeah, heavy hit for both those drivers.
Yeah, some serious damage to Gabe Wood, and there's really nothing he could do at that point. The 6 just kind of tank slapped there and went flying up in front of him, and that was quite the overcorrection. It just kind of caught grip as he got off the throttle and sent him hard into the wall. I think that 6 car was done for no matter what, if there was a car there or not, because he slammed that wall extremely hard. But now we're going into possibly our last little restart here. Is as that cone comes out, we may only have 5 or so laps to go as the field comes around this time.
Yeah, they're going to go 1 to go once they get by the cone car. So it's going to be a very quick restart as race control wants to get these guys with some green flag racing here tonight. And once again, Matt Cucker chooses the outside, but so does teammate Christian Peterson. And as you saw on the replay, it looked massively heavy for those guys. I just was watching it again. I don't know if Gabe Wood will be able to continue in this race. So Matt Cucker, Brandon Wilkinson, Christian Peterson, Will Dravicki, and Matthew Tucker, your top 5, with is probably going to be our final restart of the night with 5 laps to go, unless there's a really quick caution. I think that is going. This is going to be our last dash for the checkered flag here. Which one will get the room to run? And he's going to go through turns 3 and 4 and lock this one up. And he led just about every single lap on this one. Give the checkered flag to Matt Cucker here tonight, and Christian Peterson will wrap up 2nd place. Good finish by both those drivers. It's Peterson going from 17th to 2nd was a huge feat, but Matt Cucker had to defend everyone on those restarts.
What a drive by Matt Cucker to kind of command that field from the drop of the green flag to lead every single lap just about. I think Brandon Wilkinson may have eked by maybe once or twice on a restart just to get some laps in there, but and as you mentioned, Christian Peterson getting the biggest mover award in the Legends division here tonight, 17th to 2nd. What a drive by that driver. Unfortunately, just not enough time to get up there and battle with his teammate.
So Matt Cucker will park himself in victory lane, and we'll go through your full field rundown as they finished. Matt Cucker finishes as your winner in the Legends division, and then Christian Peterson finishes just short, 2nd position. Then Brandon Wilkinson finishes 3rd. Matthew Ducker, he'll finish 4th. Wilder Vicky 5th. Joshua King, he will finish 6th with Paul Henley 7th. David Messier finishes in the 8th position. Timothy Adams finishes 9th, and then Jeremy Watkins will finish 10th.
In 11th, that's going to be Brian Simpson. CJ Mason's going to be 12th. 13th, Gabe Wood. 14th is going to be James Moffjust. Grayson, 15th. 16th, Randy Yoakum. 17th, Tommy Ryan. Ricky Harden going to be 18th. And that will round out your field.
We're going to get a word with your winner, Matt Cucker. Matt, congratulations on your victory. Tell us about that start. I think that's really what set you up for this win on the 25-lap race. Kind of tell us how your race went and how that start went for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, early on when Tommy fell out, it kind of sucked for him. He wasn't able to get back on the pole, which he qualified, and he definitely earned it. He was way faster. But the outside, as usual, I love it, and I was able to capitalize with the momentum, being able to stay on the outside of Wilkinson there on the restarts. And the first restart, he timed it great and stayed right with me, and I think he actually beat me to the line. He timed it perfectly. But that second one, when I knew I had to go early because he wasn't going to be expecting it, and I think that's what set us up to be able to pull away from Christian after he got around Wilkinson. And man, this was one fast piece Jeremy Watkins sent me. So, feels good.
Well, Matt, we'll let you get ready to go. It looks like it's going to be, I think it's going to be the mini stocks next. So might see you around here shortly between that, Chargers, and late models later tonight. So thanks, shout outs, who gets it happen for you.
Definitely got to thank T-Vids here, Globalcom, I Analyze, you guys for broadcasting, Kyle Barnes, and Myrtle Beach for putting the show on.
All right, there you have it, your winner, Matt Cucker. And we're going to quickly change gears and give it a moment to our sponsors and commercial break here shortly. You've been watching the Myrtle Beach Speedway the simulation series at Myrtle Beach.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back to the simulation series here at Myrtle Beach, where we're going to have the mini stocks here shortly. Chris Kelly, these things are fast but light, and so it definitely proves to be difficult. And these cars are running here in the daytime, which, as we know, makes these cars a lot of fun, but a lot of work for these drivers to just keep on their toes. As we're going to have our second race of the night. It's going to be a 30-lap feature here at Myrtle Beach, as we will look to see who will win another one.
Yeah, they're fast, they're quick, they're light, but they can be also really susceptible to weight transfer. So if you throw those things around a little bit too much, they're going to get loose and they're going to snap around on you. So these drivers are going to be very careful with these cars and try to really just be as smooth as they can be on their inputs to get these things around the track here tonight.
And as we said with the last race, it was probably going to be one of the biggest fields we had with that series or that division, and maybe even tonight, as we're going to have, it looks like a fairly decent field with these guys. Looks like we're going to have a 9-car field here in these mini stocks. It looks like it's going to be actually a little bit of above average car count for these guys. And Tyler Lego Vickery, he'll be granted the pole here for tonight's race. And it looks like Joshua King will start to his outside, and Brandon Wilkinson, he will start third, with Gabe Wood starting fourth, and Randy Yoakum, he will start fifth here on the night.
Yeah, David Messier is going to be in 6th. 7th goes to Matthew Tucker. Ricky Harden going to be 8th, and rounding out your 9-car field, the 90 of Jeremy Wilkins.
So 9 cars, very light cars, very fast Mazdas will run around this half-mile track. And something I really like talking about with this track in particular is just the unique part of turn number 1 and in the front straightaway in general. I think of this front straightaway a little bit like I think about New Smyrna, in the way that it starts to curve into the corner. Now, it's definitely not even remotely the same. But when you're a driver in the cockpit and you start going down that straightaway, if you keep that steering wheel straight, you're going to go to the outside wall. And we haven't seen the drivers have an issue with it in a few weeks. Well, we haven't been here in a few weeks, but in a few races, a few race weeks. I'm curious. This was the division that really stuck us the most on that issue, and I'm curious to see if we'll see it again.
Yeah, it's almost like on a road course how you kind of just ease your way up to that outside before kind of arcing it in, and the track itself just naturally does that. And if you aren't paying attention, it could happen, and really you just have to watch those lines in the track, watch your distance from the wall as you just set yourself up for your own line and entry into turn 1. But it also just kind of eases yourself into turn 1 and almost makes it somewhat similar to a late apex corner on a road course.
As these mini stocks start going down the back straightaway, remember it is going to be a 30-lap race, so it's going to be a little 5 laps extra than the last race, and these guys are going to be getting ready to go. Number 24 of Lugo Vickery, he will start these guys in his Mazda number 24 machine, and the green flag is out. And we are racing with the mini stocks. They are all packed up and ready to go. Already bumping and banging in the turn number 1. 3 wide behind them. It looks like it's still 3 wide and in turn number 2, but it's the lead we're looking at. Lugo Vickery is being challenged on the outside with a 35 of Joshua King. He's looking to get it done here, as we are really bunched up here for this first position.
Yeah, and we learned, you know, throughout the first few weeks of this series being presented on this Myrtle Beach Speedway, you can be really, really rough with these cars and still get away with a lot here, Coop. So I'm not surprised by how they're bumping there, as you see the 4 of Randy Yoakum get into the back of the 26 of Wilkinson there, going out of turn 2. Everybody jockeying for position really early, trying to get up there forward and trying to make a move for that 35 of Joshua, or the 24 of Lugo Vickery.
That inside lane looks like it's where you want to be, but the 35 looked comfortable, and looks like the 43 almost tagged the 4 right there. This could be Randy Yoakum, who actually is doing a really good job of getting himself maneuvered throughout this field as he just dives that car into turn number 3, and it looks like it's not going to end up too well. He almost hits the outside of turn number 4, and now he's going to be challenged on the inside. Also being challenged for the lead is going to be the 24 Lugo Victory. Brandon Wilkinson challenges for it, and it's no longer a challenge. He's going to have that position already. He cuts in front, but Lugo Victory on the counter on the inside.
And as they're doing that, look at Randy Yoakum on the outside, trying to see if he can make it work on the outside to get to 3rd place, but it's not going to happen, as really they're still scrambling all over the track. Matthew Tucker looking for possibly a way around Lugo Victory, as Lugo Victory tries to dive in underneath Brandon Wilkinson, but Brandon gets to that inside, covers him off, as everyone's now into single file at the moment. But here comes back in the field, looks like Ricky Harden possibly trying to see if he can get his nose under Randy Yoakum. Not going to get that chance as Randy shuts the door on him.
All that action has sort of died down. It was very intense here towards the front here, guys, but I'm looking at the number 43 of Matthew Tucker. He's got some left front damage, but he's also looking at the inside of the 24 here. 24 makes a mistake. That's going to be Lugo Victory, and he's on his inside right here, and Lugo Victory is staying steady on the outside, and the 43 is slow into turn 3, but is having a good push on the exit, but this time does not have that. And also look behind him, Yoakum, Harden. They're going side by side for position as well. This is your top 5 we're looking at here. It looks like the Wilkinson starting to really spread his gap here as they are racing hard here for these 4 positions here, and Victory will be able to really hold these guys off. He pushes up the track just a tiny bit in turn number 4, but it's not going to be enough actually, so he's still side by side. These top 5 except for Wilkinson are still side by side.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to figure out something very soon, or they're just going to let Wilkinson drive away off into the sunset as the sun is setting here at Myrtle Beach Speedway. So everybody's getting pretty dicey up there. You saw people getting close, and now car into the outside wall. Victory, after having a strong one, going to be halted on the front stretch. Race control not saying anything as Brandon Wilkinson still your leader. Everybody else seems to make it through though, Coop.
That wall absolutely grabbed him when he hit it, but he hit it with a lot of force right there, so he's going to have to hope for a caution. He's too far back now, 11 seconds back, and that was not even at full speed. Matthew Tucker also hit the inside wall when that happened as well, and speaking of which, he's being challenged by the 15 of Ricky Harden. Looks like right there he had made a charge to the inside but thought better of it. He's going to have to try again. We are going to have 20 laps to go here this time by, already 1/3 of the way, and a lot of these races with this car is about tire management as well. They've been running really hard for these first 10 laps. I'm really curious to see who has it for the long haul as well, because Brandon Wilkinson's got himself a short run car, but does he have himself a long run car? Matthew Tucker's got himself some speed, as he was actually significantly faster than Wilkinson last time by about 1/10. So we're gonna have to watch Tucker and see if he's able to do it for the long haul.
Yeah, and that time by, he cut nearly a 2/10 off, at least 1.5 tenths off of Brandon Wilkinson there. So he definitely has some speed, but you also got to wonder if he's pushing too hard, he may overcook those tires and really not have anything left at the end of this race. As we're not even halfway through this race, and we've already had just an action-packed first few laps here. And it looks like we're going to have some more action later on as Matthew Tucker's getting ever so closer to Brandon Wilkinson.
He is getting really close, but Wilkinson looks like he's being fairly steady with his approach into the corners, but that 43 has used up the fenders and maybe the tires. But even if he hasn't, he's still in a good position to make something happen. I mean, if you get in the lead and you do have some worn out tires, you can still make your competition behind you slow just by blocking the whole track. But nonetheless, he's right there, and he does not make a move quite yet. It's going to be difficult. This is not an easy car to pass with, although he's getting closer each and every lap, and behind him, Ricky Harden's doing the same. So these top 3, they are going to get squished up here pretty soon if they start to stay behind Wilkinson, who appears to be slower. Here comes the 43 going in high in turn number 1. He gives the bumper to the 26 on the exit of the corner. It's not exactly where you want to do it if you're going to pass him. Maybe he's trying to send the message.
Yeah, definitely. Just letting the 26 know that he's there But if you look at the 43 machine of Matthew Tucker, you will see some damage above the left front tire, which he has gotten from striking the inside wall through 3 and 4, but it doesn't seem to be hurting him too bad, because as you saw, he was able to get to the back bumper of Brandon Wilkinson and hit the back bumper, but meanwhile, hitting the back bumper, he's lost a little bit of momentum and fallen back all the way back to Ricky Harden, so now he's going to be on the bit of the defensive end while still trying to reel back in the 26, but it doesn't seem too big of an issue right now, as he's already back to the back bumper of Brandon Wilkinson.
Just over halfway, 2 laps to go. Now our focus has been on these top 3, but I don't see it going anywhere else with the fact that they are within half a second of each other, bumper to bumper to bumper. With the looks like maybe Joshua King may be able to get in the mix too if they say like this, because Joshua is getting some good laps right now. He was a second behind. He keeps that distance between them, and it's all about who makes the mistake first at this point. It's getting close to almost 10 laps to go now, and I mean, once one driver makes the move, that's when the floodgates are going to open. And I think this is where the mind games, the chess match inside your head starts to really boil down. You can see the 15 had a great run out of the corner. He's going to go to the outside. I don't know what he's going to do with it quite yet, but he's going to try and get some momentum out of turn 2, but it's not going to happen quite yet. He's got some momentum, but isn't enough to get on the inside. It is. He's on the inside of the 43, but he's not going to be able to really get a lot of space there. Looks like he's going to have to back off just a little bit, and that's going to spread these guys out just a little bit.
Yeah, it was really a smart move, though. He just kind of arced that corner in through turns 1 and 2, gave himself a good run down that back straight, so just didn't quite work out for him yet, but we'll have to see if he'll kind of just reevaluate and maybe try that move once more, but it really was possibly the best opportunity he had. But look at Matthew Tucker now, right up to the bumper of Brandon Wilkinson, maybe even going to give him a tap as they go down go down the front straight, heading towards turns 1 and 2. He's going to try to move to the inside and see if he can take that preferred line and really force Brandon Wilkinson to kind of sit a little bit high up the track, but Brandon Wilkinson hooking it up on that outside, going to be able to get the momentum and clear Matthew Tucker down towards 3 and 4. Matthew Tucker still going to try to work that inside, gets a little bit loose, nearly wobbles that car around, but somehow holds on, and that's also going to give it a chance to Ricky Harden, who's going to try to make that outside line work as well.
Wilkinson was definitely ready for that one, as he was, I think he has been saving those tires a little bit, ready for that to happen. And the 15, I think, is just ready for his opportunity. He's on the outside of the 43 again. He needs to get by him quickly, because I think he's got a fast race car, and he absolutely pushes that car into turn 3. I think harder than I've seen anyone do it so far. That's a great maneuver he just did, and I think he might have the momentum going to turn number 2 here, as he's going to be just on the outside of the 43. Doesn't have it quite yet, and they're really close going into turn number 2, but he all but clears the 43, and it will be done. He will throw the car into turn number 3. He looks like he's got a car to challenge Wilkinson, but does he have enough time? I think he does.
Yes, Coop, I do think the answer is yes to that question, because look at him already on the back bumper of Brandon Wilkinson's machine. Made quick work of the 43 of Matthew Tucker. I believe both those drivers in first and second were saving their stuff. Look at how hard Ricky Harden is pushing it into those corners to try to get the run off, and it's working. Looking to the inside, not quite. Gonna think better of it going down off into turn 1.
6 laps to go, and here comes the 15. Does not have the momentum quite yet, but we saw him be patient with the 43. Can he be the same with the 26? Ricky Harden has tried all year to get wins, and he's been so close so many times, and I think this one might be one that breaks the ice. He's had a couple wins, or he's had the U-Car win earlier. I don't know if he's gotten very many other wins, except for in week 11 when he did get a win. In this series, he's going to give the 26 a huge bump there in the corner. And he's going to try and back up his win from a couple weeks ago, and he's so close. And we're going to have 4 laps to go.
He definitely has the speed off of turn 2 as he really just lurched forward and slammed into the back of the 26. So he'll have to see if he can use that to his advantage, especially here as he's now got a bit of a gap. Maybe he can use that to build up some momentum, try to make a move this time. But now Wilkinson just holding some steady speed here, just enough to keep in front of Ricky Harden, taking up the preferred line. So Harden's really just going to have to force a mistake, and there's a bit of one from Wilkinson. He's going to stay a little bit too high, and that's going to give almost Harden an opportunity to make a move inside. He's going to down look to the outside. Maybe he's going to arc in the corner through turns 1 and 2. Actually, no, he's still going to hold the outside, see if he can get some momentum, and really gets the door slammed on him. Gets pushed almost up into the wall. They're going to get another tap from Brandon Wilkinson.
Oh, this is an intense battle here for the lead. We're going to have 2 laps to go here at the start-finish line, and Harden has the outside lane. That's where he wants to be, and Wilkinson has done all but defend his position. He goes up the track just a little bit on the 15, and here comes the 43 behind all these guys. Still side by side, still as a nose. We're going to have the white flag this time by coming out of 3 and 4, and he continues to push the outside, continues to push the pressure. He's going to come to the start-finish line, and they are going neck and neck. Going down to turn number 1, 15 on the outside. He will bump him out of the way. Completely door slams him out of the way. No chance for the 15, and now the 43 will try his hand at it, but it might be just a little too far away, and it looks like Brandon Wilkinson will win this one out if he comes out of turns number 4 with a door slam out of 2, and he will win this one after 30 laps of some intense racing. Guys, I gotta say, that's probably one of the best races we've seen in this series. And here comes the 15.
What a move by the 26 of Wilkinson there, and you know, we saw the 15 get right up next to him, but didn't really do anything, just kind of drove up next to him and then took it down pit road. But what a drive for that 26 machine, pretty much hit checked the 15 of Ricky Harden out of the way to get the win, and he does, pulling it through the grass and into victory lane. Your winner, Brandon Wilkinson.
I'll tell you what, Brandon Wilkinson did a good job of holding all those drivers off, but that last lap, I think Ricky Harden may owe him one later, but nonetheless, Brandon got the job done, and you know, I think he almost led every single lap, just like the last race. So we'll talk to him in just a moment. We'll go through your full field rundown as your drivers finished. Brandon Wilkinson finishes first with Matthew Tucker second. Ricky Harden finishes third. Joshua King finishes fourth, with David Messier finishing fifth.
6th is going to go to that 4 machine of Randy Oakham. 7th goes to Gabe Wood. 8th, Jeremy Watkins. And rounding out your 9 car field, Tyler Lugo victory after a hard hit to the outside wall.
We're going to speak with your winner right here in the number 26 Mazda machine. Brandon, I think the thing we want to know is go through with the last 15 laps of how much pressure you had to win this race.
Yeah, it was a tough race. Tucker and Ricky gave me a real good run there for my money. We were able to hold them off. Definitely not how I wanted to win there, but you know, it's a win nonetheless. These wins are really hard to come by in the Myrtle Beach series here. Just the driver talent and everybody is just so close. It's so hard to win one of these things. So you really can't let one slip when you can handle it yourself.
Well, after leading a lot of laps, it was definitely a hard one to give away as well. And before we let you go, Brandon, give any shout-outs, sponsors, who makes it happen for you in the 26 machine?
I thank Kyle Barnes for letting me run tonight. This is my first race, and I honestly had no clue how to drive these cars, but you know, we figured it out, I guess, a little bit. We'll do our homework, come back stronger next week. You know, Kyle's a good guy, and he knows how to put on a good show. I got to thank Kirkwood Transportation Services. They've come on board just about everything we've done this year throughout all of the iRacing simulation. I got to thank Dead Zone Racing, Scott Eckers Chassis. Yeah, that's about it. LSRTV for covering every week and every race that we run here in the Championship Esports Association. Thank you, guys.
There you have it. Winner of the mini stock division first race, first win for Brandon Wilkinson. So we will once again go to third gear for our third race with the Chargers division, as we're going to have a really fun race with those guys. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back on the other side here on LSRTV, your home for sim racing. Welcome back to the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, as we will have the Chargers division here tonight, as we will have a 25-40 lap feature here shortly. When we start coming to these races for this championship esports association, you always know there's going to be an intenseness to these races. And guys, we just saw I think one of our most intense races in quite some time. Definitely tonight, that was quite a spectacular race. I really want to continue the conversation about that race because it was almost non-stop with that action.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic to watch. I mean, I was not expecting those MX-5s to be so fantastic on the track, so racy as well, and really those things were able to bump and bang, and makes the mini stocks really just a kind of underrated little feature that we have on this simulation series.
Now, to give you an up-to-date on the Chargers point standings, Matt Cucker currently leads the series right now with 175 points over Jeremy Adams. And a little known fact is that Matt Cucker also has the most wins on this series. So we'll have to see if anything changes with that, as he also has won in every single start. And we are already ready for the grid on this one. It's actually a pretty small field for these guys, as they will have, looks like, a 25-lap feature event. Jeremy Watkins, he will be first off the grid, and then Rafe Slate will be to his outside. Rafe Slate actually finds himself third in points, and you've got Jacob Porter in third, Jeremy Adams in fourth, Matt Cucker fifth, and you've got Tanner Cook and Christian Peterson sixth and seventh tonight. Like I said, short field, but these cars are going to be a little bit faster. Remember, these cars have an extra bit of weight to them, which is going to make them a little bit more challenging to drive.
Yeah, we saw a lot of beat and banging in the mini stock feature in the last race, and I expect nothing less. You can do just about the same amount of beating and banging in these cars, and you can really stick these cars on the low line and make them stick, but I don't really expect to see that. You know, we've got Matt Cucker, Christian Peterson, who really like to frequent the high side here, so you can use a lot of lanes here at Myrtle Beach. So I've been looking for these cars to be used in an assortment of different ways.
This will also begin our first of 3 nighttime races here. So after our first 2 races, we had Matt Cucker win the Legends division, and then Brandon Wilkinson won in the mini stocks just not too long ago. And so we are now under the lights. We'll have the Chargers and the Super Trucks, and then the late models. Remember, the Chargers and late models are very like looking cars, and this is very short track light to have 2 relatively big fields and then now to have a small field. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how these 6 drivers out here go and put on a show here for us tonight for 25 laps. Looks like Gabe Wood will be the pace car driver for this race as well. So we'll have to see how this one starts to go through the gears. And so Rafe Slate starts on the outside. Jeremy Watkins, he will start from the pole. And you see the 3 rows of 6 cars come through turns 3 and 4. And Jeremy Watkins will begin these guys with the green flag in the air. American Ethanol green flag is in the air, and looks like he does not get a good start at all. And they are all bunched up here for the first 6 positions, because there are only 6 of them. Look at the 8 go. That's Rafe Slate, and there's a big stack up on the inside. 3 wide going into turn 3. Looks like someone chooses better of it. And Rafe Slate, he will gain the lead off of a very interesting restart. Still 3 wide for last place there, guys.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting start as Jeremy Watkins is going to get loose and then get some help up into the outside wall by Tanner Cook. Race control not saying anything as the pace car zooms out. Caution will be out.
Caution thrown from the accident, and definitely going to be really hard to miss any action, any cautions that are to happen. So definitely looks like the number 90 of Jeremy Watkins has not had a good start to this race. Went into turn one a little hot, and then that thing just went right around, right in front of Tanner Cook, and Cook had nowhere to go, and he just tried his best to get through it, but then had to get on the brakes, and he's going to have some good right side damage there on that machine. But these Chargers can take a lot of damage as well, but still going to hurt him.
Yeah, and these things may look similar to late models, but they have had their setups changed to act more like the real-world Charger series. They're supposed to act as if they're on those little 8-inch threaded tires, and really you just don't have as much grip as in these things as you would expect from a late model. So he just kind of threw that car in hard. The car got extremely loose and just kind of swung right around on him.
There's the first few laps are ran under green, and then we've got a few more under caution. Rafe Slate begins to lead some laps, then Jeremy Adams, then Matt Cucker, Jacob Porter, Christian Peterson, and Jeremy Watkins, and that's the whole field. Gotta remember, this is going to be a very short, stacked field here tonight.
Yeah, it is, Coop, and it kind of makes for heat racing, so to speak, if I could speak English here tonight. Getting these short amount of drivers in here, and it makes some really good close racing, as we saw they were really close, 3 wide in the front and in the back, and plus a lot of beating and banging, which we saw really turn for the worse with Jeremy Watkins and Tanner Cook. Jeremy Watkins, as Kelly mentioned, getting loose, and then Tanner Cook pretty much had nowhere to go and got into him. So it makes some really good close racing as we get ready to go back green.
All right, as these drivers are attempting to tighten back, looks like green flag is in the air. And the number 8 of Rafe Slate continues to lead these guys. 20 laps to go here, and looks like Jeremy Adams is wanting to get to that lane, but he's got a fight on the inside. It's Matt Cucker. They're going side by side for second place.
Yeah, and they're still door to door. Jeremy Adams seeing if he can make that outside line work. Sounds like a bit of someone got into the wall a bit further back in the field, but a good run from Jeremy Adams is actually cut off by Rafe Slate, who is just kind of holding up that top line. A little bit loose of the 89. He's going to hold on as much as he can. Ends up tapping the wall, but that will straighten up the car. However, he is going to lose a position to Christian Peterson as he got lucky there. Could have lost a lot more.
And the lead is going to exchange hands as well. Ray Slate lost the handle on his car, and so Matt Cucker will take the lead. Remember, this is his 8th start. He's got 7 wins. That means every time he's been in these cars, he's won. And so far, Ray Slate is going to be right back at his back bumper, but not have anything for him. But look at this pack right behind him, and looks like the number 3 of Porter is going to turn himself around, and turn number 4 almost had it saved twice. And so that is going to bring out the caution flag right in front of the number 90 of Jeremy Watkins. Was able to navigate around that, but Porter just almost had it saved right there. Dove it into the corner, went 3 wide, and just was not able to keep it all under him.
Yeah, he really pretty much went down into the corner and basically just couldn't get the car slowed up, and to avoid hitting the 23 of Christian Peterson, basically yanked the wheel to the left, what it looked like, and then he couldn't get it back under control and just spun it around on the front straightaway, which unfortunate for him. And trying to get the car turned back around, he did snag the outside wall, but nothing too bad for that driver there, and we'll get ready to get these cars racked back up and get them back underway.
So if that car was even a little slower, it would not even hit and slap the left front of that car. So he did a really good job of making sure that thing did not get any more damage than it was, because at one point that car was junk. It was complete junk. So he did a good job of making sure that car at least stayed in one piece between now and the next time these guys have another issue, because they've already had 2 slowdowns due to accidents. And I'll tell you what, there will be 15 laps to go, and I don't know what I just saw right there, but it looks like Christian Peterson just absolutely smacked Jeremy Adams in the rear right there, and I had a feeling that the 23 is going to have some really good front end damage right there. So unsure what that was all about, but looks like they'll get restacked, re-racked, and going again. as the pace car will go down the back straightaway and get going out of the way. We'll stop on the backstretch pit road, and it looks like Matt Cucker will start on the outside, so Rafe Slade will be in the inside. That's your top two, but number 69 will have control of the restart. A little over 15 laps to go, as I am not sure what they're doing on this restart, but it's very wacky, and the number 8 of Rafe Slade will stack up the inside lane, and Matt Cucker is gone.
Yeah, good launch on the outside for Matt Cucker. Rafe Slate trying to hold on to that inside line as Jeremy Adams really starting to get some momentum as well, and trying to see if he can make a challenge for that second position. Matt Cucker just kind of keeping that car up on that second lane there, not getting himself all the way down to that wall. He knows the limit of these tires just have their limits and really isn't trying to push that car too hard, just easing on that thing. It's back in the field. Look at the Tanner Cook kind of shoving a car out of the way. It looks like we got a car going around there. It looks like Jeremy Watkins possibly lost a hold of his car. No, it was Christian Peterson. Christian Peterson spun himself up. Looks like we may be still going racing. I haven't heard anything called from there as Tanner Cook stays even up with Jeremy Adams.
Green flag continues as these guys are still going around. That's something not very very uncharacteristic for Christian Peterson to happen, but I'd have to say he has not had the most time in these as some of these other guys have, like Cucker, Adams, and Cook. They have raced in this series before a few times. Well, a lot of times for Cucker, as he's undefeated in the times that he has been in this car, and Rafe Slate's doing himself a good job as well, still being in second place. Haven't really talked about him a lot this year. Well, not this year, this season, I should say, back on the flip side of 18. But right now, he's keeping himself good in second place. And you're seeing Matt Cucker run higher on the track. And I've got to believe that he's just letting the track work for him and is not trying to use that car any more than he has to. And looks like the battle for third is going to get a little out of whack as Tanner Cook gets really loose into the corner. And he's going to have to give away the spot to Jeremy Adams.
Yeah, Jeremy Adams to get by the 96th machine of Tanner Cook, but look at Cook power back on the inside to try to regain that position. Once again, gonna slide up the track quite a bit, almost door that 89 machine, but they get away cleanly going down the back straightaway. No driver wanting to give an inch as they are still side by side. Cook gonna slide up the track once again, and I think this time make contact with the door. Slight contact, but contact indeed. Going down the front straightaway now, still trying to keep the nose in there and under the 89 machine. The 96 machine really wants this position back.
Cook has himself a fast race car, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything on the inside. The car is just very loose, and they're catching Rafe Slate here very quickly, almost too quickly. Who's going to be able to get the pick? And it looks like Cook is going to get picked here on the inside, but I think they've got him in a position where he's actually going to get some speed again. Rafe Slade just slowed down tremendously out of that last corner or two, and so they're going to be right there with them. Battle for second now ensuing as Cucker is just kind of running away with this one, as we're going to have 6 laps to go at the start-finish line, and looks like that little move from the number 89 of Jeremy Adams is not going to work, actually. I thought he was going to have a lot of momentum going into turn number 2. He's going to lose it all right there. Cook returns it.
Yeah, and Rafe Slate was putting some good pressure on Matt Cucker there, but just kind of ended up losing control of his car and nearly spinning out. Was able to save it, but lost all of his speed, all of his momentum in really like 2 seconds. Oh, door contact from the 96 to the 89, just kind of doors him going into turn 1 there. That's actually going to work out for the 89 of Jeremy Adams, as Tanner Cook had to slow way down to keep control of his car, but Rafe Slate's going to be the one that ends up the best out of that, as he gets a bit of a gap over Jeremy Adams after that weird contact from the 89 to the 96.
Tell you what, that was a good save by both drivers. They kind of in synchronized pirouetted themselves in such a good way that they did lose Rafe Slade, but at the same time they had actually got themselves pretty synced up right there with the way they saved the cars. The only bad thing about that is that they also lost, like you said, a lot of time to Rafe Slade. Gonna have 2 laps to go when Matt Cucker reaches the start-finish line this next time by, and it's gonna be over fairly shortly, as this one has been very interesting to say the least with the few amount of cars that we've had.
Yeah, and I would like to describe it in, one word that you used earlier there, Coop, wacky. It's been a wacky race of contact and people all over the place, really, just trying to get all the position they can with the short amount of field. Is now Tanner Cook almost loses it coming off of turn 2, but able to keep his car under control. That 96 machine having a rough race here and keeping the car under control, but meanwhile up front, white flag in the air for the 69 machine of Matt Cucker.
To no surprise, it looks like he is going to continue to be undefeated in this series. He will win 8 times if he can get through these last couple corners, and knowing the way he's been racing in these races, he's going to be able to do it. And in fashion, he comes across the start-finish line sideways and will actually do a little bit of celebrating already in the corners, and he will win 8 for 8 on the season out of 10 races. So when he's been here, he's done the damage, and so he will continue to impress here as the pace car. I am not sure what's going on, but that is wacky, yeah, a little wacky, but that's Gabe Wood in that pace car, so not exactly surprised by that one. So Matt Cucker puts it on the front straightaway. He's going to back up into victory lane. So we'll go through the full field rundown as they finished. Matt Cucker finishes as your winner. Then Rafe Slate finishes second. Jeremy Adams third. Tanner Cook fourth. Jacob Border finished fifth, and then Christian Peterson and Jeremy Watkins, they finished in the 6th and 7th position. We're going to try and get a word from Matt Cucker here very shortly. You have met up with him in victory lane. Matt, you've got 2 wins on the evening. Congratulations, and talk to us about how you have so much control in this car.
Man, I really don't know. It's all about being consistent. And I think that's what I'm mainly good at, is just trying to hit the same marks over and over and easy on the gas. I mean, this car's a handful sometimes, and tonight it wasn't all that bad. It was a little bit better than what we ran in the past, but it was still a handful, and still be able to be consistent. That's all.
Well, Matt, I'll ask you another question since we already asked you for some sponsors earlier, but being undefeated in this series now, you haven't been to every race, but every race you have been to, you've won. That gives you a lot of momentum into each and every single race that you go to from now on. Winning another race really sets you up for a good chance of just winning this championship.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main goal, is to try to go for the points. I know a lot of people say don't watch your points, just go out there and have fun, and I try to do both. Mainly, I don't know. We always talk in TeamSpeak about the points and trying to get Jeremy. I'm like, come on, you got to practice so you can beat me. And we're always busting each other's chops. He's always like, I'm going to junk you and this and that. But, I mean, it's always going to be a hard-fought battle down to the end racing with Jeremy.
Well, Matt, you win 8 for 8 on the season, and it doesn't really look like anyone's stopping you anytime soon. So we'll talk to you soon, maybe one more time before the night's over if you get lucky and skilled enough to get another victory in the regular late model series. We'll see you then.
Alrighty, we'll see you.
All right, there you have it. Matt Cucker twice tonight, a winner, and we will go straight down to the next one, which is going to be the Super Trucks. We'll see you in just a moment here on LSRTV.
Hi, I'm Ryan Priest. I'm driving the number 20 JGR Toyota Xfinity car this weekend. Really great opportunity here at New Hampshire at my home track. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been on iRacing, practicing a little bit here and there with the modified and the NASCAR Xfinity car, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great tool for me to kind of get used to that stock car body again and be prepared for the race today. Well, yeah, it's a mile long, so the draft kind of plays into effect here with the modifieds. Punches a big hole in the air, and we run restrictor plates. So it makes a big difference. Just really fast, and it's our Daytona. So that's what's great about it, and we have a fast car for tomorrow. I think the biggest thing is they're heavier cars. The tire's a lot different. And the way you go about setting them up is a lot different. They use all 4 tires more than a modified, where we typically drive off the right rear, you know, so. Well, actually, it's funny. I raced NASCAR race in 2003 before iRacing came about. And then when iRacing came about, my friend Kevin Iannarelli, who works at iRacing, kind of told me, hey, man, you need to switch over to this. And when I did, I was like, oh, my God, this is like real life. So I started using it as a tool of mine to really prepare for modified races, whether it was Stafford or Thompson or Loudon, Bristol, and then obviously the Xfinity Series last year, going to road courses, trying to get laps, and use it as a tool that can get me as prepared as I could be without actually doing it. So it's been great.
Yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Welcome back live to the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, where we are going to be met the super trucks for the night. If you saw any of the other cars tonight were as hard, pressing, bumper locking, anything else like that, we're about to meet their match with the super trucks. I'll tell you what, if you've ever driven a truck like this at a speedway like this, control is an absolute must. For this track is going to spit you up and eat you and spit you out quicker than you know it, especially in turn number 1. Again in the booth, I'm Austin Coop, Chris Murdoch, Kelly et al, and we're just starting to have fun, aren't we, guys?
Yeah, it's been an interesting one. To say that, Coop, what did we use for the last race? Wacky? Is that what we used?
Yeah, we used Wacky for the last one.
Yeah, that's what we stuck with. So we've had Wacky, so can't wait to see what this race lives up to. Super Trucks, one of my favorite series to take here at the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, so I'm expecting a lot of hard-fought racing like we did see in the last one and the races before that, because it's honestly one of my favorite series when they come here.
When we look at the grid here tonight, looks like it's going to be just a little bit different. Jeremy Watkins, I think, brought the wrong car to the Speedway, so he will not be able to start from a second place position. But Tyler Lugo-Vickery will get another pole in the evening. I'm sure he's wanting a lot of redemption from earlier on tonight. And then Gabe Wood will start from the 3rd position. And you've got Ricky Harden starting 4th, and Matthew Tucker, he will start 5th.
6 will go to Tommy Ryan. Dawson Fletcher going to be 7th. 8th, Jeremy Adams. 9th, Matt Cucker. And I guess rounding out your 10-car field will be Christian Peterson.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be 9 trucks here tonight. And Kelly, I don't know if you've seen these trucks at a short track. Don't know if exactly you've seen these guys at this place, but this is going to be a lot interesting for you too.
No, I haven't seen the super trucks at this track specifically, but I know what these trucks can do on a short track, and these things can bump and bang. So I'm expecting a lot of these guys to be door-to-door, bumper-to-bumper the entire way. We've seen it in pretty much every class so far. These guys are really out here to race, really out here to scrap, and they'll bump and bang from flag to flag until that checkered falls.
And Tyler Lugo-Vickery, like we just noted, he'll get a second shot at it, and then looks like Gabe Wood will stay behind. So everyone in the outside row, they will get 2 positions technically. They'll get a row up. So it looks like Ricky Harden will get a really good shot at this start here, as he will start in the 2nd place position. He'll move from 4th to 2nd, and everyone behind him in the evens will move up, and Jeremy Watkins will not be able to start this one. And it will start here with the number 24 once again. Then you have the 15 on the outside. Gabe Wood 3rd, Tommy Ryan 4th, and Matthew Tucker 5th. Contrary to what you're seeing on your screen, green flag is in the air, and Lugo-Vickery will start these guys down into turn number 1. The 15 is going to have a good. Oh, look at the 24 going high in the corner. Knows that the outside is preferable, and look at the 15 already out to a great start to the outside. A lot of speed from that 15 truck, and Gabe Wood is going to try and do the same thing. Go to the outside lane. That's where the speed is.
Yeah, it's really up there as we get ready to go down into turns 1 and 2. Lugo Victory trying to keep up with Harden as he gets a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. That's going to leave Gabe Wood a door open on the outside, but Wood going to lose a whole lot of momentum going out of turn number 4. So he'll have some time. He'll have some time to make up there. Victory Knight letting Harden get away from him too much, but look just behind them, Tommy Ryan trying to make a run on Gabe Wood for the 3rd place position.
And even behind that, the 43 of Matthew Tucker trying to hold off everyone on the inside. But like you said, the 6 is getting around the number 00. And Tommy Ryan has got to get going because I think he knows that Christian Peterson is a very fast guy as well. And with him being, he being already in the picture behind him, he's got to get going just because those two have fought for 1st place and the win multiple times, and it's always been down to the end of the wire for him. So knowing that is at the pivotal point right now is to try and get these guys picked off as quickly as possible if he can. Ricky Hard's in charge though right now, as he's got himself a half-second lead over Lugo Vickery, who's holding solid in 2nd, and then you've got the number 6 who is right steadily in 3rd. That's your top 3, and then you've got Peterson and Cucker still in this fight. I think this actually might be Cucker's 1st race in this series. I'm not 100% sure about that. I have to take a look, but he's running, I'm sure, the same setup as Peterson as he follows suit in the top 5.
Yeah, he's just kind of following him along, just letting Christian be the one to move the traffic out of the way and just kind of follow in behind him, as really is just kind of using almost Christian like a plow here. Looks like a 24 of Lugo Vickery. Not a great corner for him. He's going to lose a lot of speed, and that's going to allow Tommy Ryan to close that gap as Christian Peterson as well getting closer, and Tommy Ryan knows he needs to get around Lugo Vickery as fast as possible or else Christian's going to get around him. So look at the 6 to try to find a gap around that 24 as he's really just filling up that rear view mirror.
And remember, this is our longest race so far in the night. So look at, oh my goodness, Lugo Victory somehow holds on to that thing. That could have been terrible for all the guys behind him. That was scary, to say the least. And he somehow is able to hold that one up. And Ricky Harden, he will, I'm sure he wanted to hold him up just a little bit longer, but Tommy Ryan, he will continue to press forward, and so will the 3 drivers behind him.
Yeah, Christian Peterson trying to get up to the back bumper of Tommy Ryan, and you know, even though Lugo Vickery didn't hold them up for maybe as long as Ricky Harden would want to, that little bobble there gave Ricky Harden quite a bit of a gap there that has since went away from the speed of that 6 machine. So Tommy Ryan looking really fast here tonight in the Super Truck Series, along with Christian Peterson, as you see Tommy Ryan coming off the corner and just getting that run away from Peterson and slowly catching that 15 machine.
Hard's losing that lead just a little bit every single time here, and as they start to go through the laps, like it's a little bit of stale right now with these guys in this top 4. It's basically a tire management game, a setup game. Whose setup can last the longest? It's a long race. 40 laps is long with these trucks, as we've seen multiple different lap counts. I mean, the most laps a driver has made is actually 340, and that's tied between Christian Peterson and Tommy Ryan. They both have the most laps logged in this series, which is quite a bit. When you divide that by how many lap races they've done, it actually becomes to be a small interval. But as these guys are, all 4 of them inside 1 second of each other, it is going to start slinking up here as Ricky Harden appears to be one of the slowest, if not the slowest, of this little pack.
Yeah, he's definitely encountering some problems and goes way up the track. Christian Peterson tried to stick his nose up underneath Tommy Ryan as Tommy Ryan dives to the inside of Ricky Harden. Harden's got some trouble now. He's going to try to see if he can make that outside line work. He's got to hold on and keep that momentum up on the high side as Christian Peterson just looking for a possible gap, may even force it 3 wide there, but he's just kind of waiting in the middle as Harden goes way up the racetrack once more through turns 1 and 2. A little bit of a mistake from Tommy Ryan. That is going to force it 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide for a moment there. Peterson backs out of it, although I think if he would have stuck with it, he probably would have been just fine. But, oh, wow, look at the cut up the track from Tommy Ryan. Cut right in front of the 15. That is a dicey move you have to make if you're going to want to win one of these races. And he's going to start pulling away just a little bit. Peterson's going to have to really get around the 15 to really start working on getting him around or getting to this lead. And this is what the 6 needed. He needed a break, and he also needed to get right in front of the 15. He did a great job of cutting him off right when he needed to, and he's going to start getting a little bit of momentum. Peterson just now gets off the hook as well, and it's going to be battle for second, now third, as looks like Matt Cucker will also put the nose in on the 15.
Yeah, Cucker trying to make quick work of the 15 as he's diving all the way down to the inside. He's got to watch out for those bumps, though, going through the corner, because those can prove deadly in these things. We've seen it happen before, trucks getting all the way lifted up off the ground due to those bumps into the corner, but he does get by that 15 of Ricky Harden, and now he's got a sight set on teammate Christian Peterson, as Peterson up in second now, trying to get to the back bumper of Tommy Ryan. We've said it all night. Christian Peterson has been chasing this 6 machine, but just cannot get to that back bumper as he dives it down into turn 3, trying to make something stick. He does make up a little bit of time, but just not quite there just yet.
And remember, this is only halfway through this race. We just crossed lap 20 out of 40. And that means that these two will continue to battle with green flag racing. We've seen a lot of green flag racing tonight. I think it's going to be some of the most green flag racing we've had on a Wednesday night with this series. Of course, we haven't had the light model series yet, but has to be expected with the large amount of cars that we have in that series. Nonetheless, though, Tommy Ryan is doing a great job of fending off Christian Peterson right now, and it's really hard when you've got a guy who works as hard as he does on each and every week's setup to continue to do battle. I mean, Tommy Ryan's been the only one to really challenge Christian Peterson in this series for wins. Peterson having 8 wins in this series out of 10 starts, which is I mean, it's like I said, for Matt Cucker, just an absolute great statistic to have. And Tommy Ryan's doing a great job of holding him off, and Tommy Ryan has won one of those races. So those two are really, when you come into a race like this with these super trucks, those are the 2 guys you want to beat.
Yeah, it's looking like Christian Peterson starting to look at the inside of Tommy Ryan, especially off of turn 2 there. He looked like he was going to try to see if he could cut that corner tight on the exit and see if he could push a nose on the inside, but that time wasn't quite able to. So watch for Christian Peterson to try to make a move. He's just kind of feeling out the different strategies and the different moves that he could make here. But as soon as he gets that gap, he's definitely going to go for it. So Tommy Ryan has got to make sure he hits every single one of his marks and has to make sure he closes off that inside line. If he makes a mistake in the corner and runs just a little bit wide, Christian Peterson is going to force his way up there because he knows that we're on the downswing of this race.
15 laps to go here, and Tommy Ryan continuing to hold him up and actually pull away every once in a while as well. It's not just him blocking, it's him also having good speed out of the corners as well. And I think the thing is that Ryan's been in this position before and he let it get away. I don't think he wants to do that again. He's also going to have some lap traffic coming here in just a little bit, and actually might not be a little bit, it might be pretty soon, as he's going to have, it looks like, Lugo Vickery and Dawson Fletcher in front of him, as well as it's going to be almost now as they are catching this lap traffic. It's going to pay off for him, as it looks like the 23 has to hold up just a little bit. I don't know if it worked for any of them, to be honest, except for maybe Matt Cucker, who had time on the 23, and that was very dicey here.
Yeah, Matt Cucker will really take all the position or track position he can to catch these guys. 12 laps to go and trying to just get there and be a part of it. You see Christian Peterson there now all over the back bumper of the 6 of Tommy Ryan. He was looking outside, not going to make the move there, looking all the way down to the inside in the turns 1 and 2. He's going to have the nose there, going to have the nose going to be door to door going out of the corner, but he gets a little bobble coming out of 2. That's going to lose some momentum, but still keeps the nose on the corner panel, going to try to keep the momentum. You see Tommy Ryan cut down on the nose, and it's going to cause problems for Christian Peterson. Going to get a little bit loose, taking the air off of that tire and sends him right back to teammate Matt Cucker.
Tommy Ryan fought back and played a little bit more aggressive than I think we've seen him. I think he knows he has to be, especially with the fact that he's got those two behind him, and they're starting to fight. If they fight hard enough, Ryan might have a really good opportunity to really steal this one. And Matt Cucker's not just going to let Christian Peterson win. Matt Cucker really wants one for his own. He's had one race in this season so far. I think he wants to have himself another one. Ryan still holding off, under 10 laps to go, getting close to 5. And with Ryan having the advantage of being in the lead, and now he had shown the ability to fend off Peterson whenever he got on his inside. This is going to be, I think, a great opportunity for Ryan to really take this one home. He still has about 7 laps to go, though.
And it's starting to look like the tires have really worn off on that 23 truck. He slid around not only on that defensive move that Tommy Ryan made, but he even slid around just a little bit as well in front of his teammate Matt Cucker a few laps ago. So he's got to be careful with that truck, and any move he makes runs the risk of throwing that truck out of alignment. It looked like he got a little bit of a wiggle right there off of turn 4, but that truck is definitely not on the best of tires at this moment. So he's really going to have to baby that thing around for these last 6 laps.
Matt Cucker being in the picture definitely, excuse me, definitely makes things interesting for this one, as Peterson is all but looking on the inside just about every single lap. He's almost a quarter of a car length down to the bottom. He gives him a nudge right there. That's a small nudge, almost gave him more momentum going out of the corner, though. 6 truck was definitely off on a little bit of wiggle. Peterson wiggles just a little bit in the middle of the corner, and that's going to leave the number 6 car with a little bit of a gap. 5 laps to go. Who is going to win this race? Ryan, Peterson, Cucker. Cucker has not really made a stab out of it, but he's still in this one, and Peterson got a little bit loose out of turn number 2. So, man, this one's getting down to the wire.
Yeah, coming to 3 to go this time. By as it's really flown by here. Coop, you blink and you're going to miss some of the action as the top 3 is nose to tail coming out of turns 1 and 2. Christian Peterson trying every which way to try to make the momentum work to get around that 6 machine of Tommy Ryan, but he can't afford to make a mistake because Matt Cucker in that 69 machine is sitting right back behind him. You see 23 looking to the outside, going to get a nose there and going to get the door shut by Tommy Ryan coming through 3 and 4. Going to try once again to get up on the outside line, and this time he does. Out of 4, side by side, white flag, 1 more lap to go.
White flag, and Christian Peterson's on the outside. I think this is where he wants to be. Lap truck in front of him, but I don't think it's going to make a bit of a difference. Peterson's got the outside hooked up, and on a last lap pass, can he make it stick, or will Ryan pull back on the inside? It's not going to happen. Ryan tries too hard. It's going to get loose and lose both positions. And that goes to Christian Peterson on a last lap pass for the win.
Just an absolutely fantastic move from Christian Peterson, realizing that inside line isn't going to work, and the only chance he has to try to see if he can make that outside line work. And not only did he get himself up to the lead, he also made it an opportunity for Matt Cucker. Just Tommy Ryan just tried to push it just a little too hard, spun those tires off of 4, ended up losing both positions as he tried to make a last gasp attempt at the win there. But some fantastic driving from all 3 of those drivers up front, and a good win from Christian Peterson.
9 wins for Christian Peterson on the Super Truck season. To no surprise, he does get another one, but I will say that that was probably the hardest we've seen Tommy Ryan fighting. Let's see if we see that again. It might be a win for him instead of being right behind the 23, and he gave it everything he had in that last corner. It was good to see. So it'll be Christian Peterson who gets the victory, then Matt Cucker. He will finish 2nd with Tommy Ryan 3rd. Ricky Harden finishes 4th. And then you've got Matthew Tucker who finishes 5th.
Gabe Wood is going to be 6th. Tyler Lugo Vickery 7th. 8th goes to Dawson Fletcher. And rounding out your 9-car field, Jeremy Adams.
Now they'll be down here in victory lane with Christian Peterson. 4th race of the night, and this is your 9th win in these Super Trucks after 11 starts. You've absolutely dominated this season. I think you will now have double the points than the next driver behind you. This is an absolute, I think you might, if you continue to race each race, I think you will actually have it locked up between now and the end of the season, which is great for you. Talk about all the success you've had in this series.
Yeah, I think I'm here a lot in this truck, so I feel like I've been repeating myself week after week, but definitely like one of my favorite trucks, man. And just this thing is so much fun, and it's the race I look forward to the most during the night. Late model stocks are great as well, but this one's really just I feel like the driver has a lot more, you're a lot more in control of what you can do just with how much power you have. So, I did not think I was going to get by Tommy there, but just shows that you should never give up and just keep trying different things and hopefully it'll stick,
Well, if you sound like a broken record, it means you've been here a lot, so I guess that's a good problem to have there, Christian. So I'll give you... Yeah, exactly. I think it's a great problem to have, and maybe next time you're in this position, we'll try and give you a curveball of a question. So one that's not a curveball question is who makes it happen for you in the shoutouts?
Just everybody at Six Man, everybody at Vincier. We got looking forward to next season and or the rest of this season at Myrtle Beach here, and the next season for the Cars Tour. Got some plans coming up for that, and looking forward to it. So yeah, just shout out to all those guys and all the new guys over here. So and yeah, everybody out in the booth, everybody at LSRTV, and yeah, just Barnes for everything he does to give us somewhere fun and clean to race.
There you have it. Christian Peterson gets his first victory tonight and his 9th of many races in this Super Truck Series. So we'll talk to him more than likely later on in the season, and we will have one final race here on the night. It's the longest of the night, the feature event, the late model stocks here for 60 laps. We'll see you in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Chris Page. I work here at iRacing. Been here 2 days before launch, actually, is when I got started. So we have developers working on front-end web development. We have back-end guys specializing there. We have DevOps that are dealing with networking, servers, a database team, so many different teams because there's lots of different work to do. The new user interface, which we call Scorpio internally, is a complete overhaul. So in the case of results, the way that it has historically worked is you would request results. The request would be sent to the server, which would then query the database, compile that, and send it back. What we're doing now is whenever we get the results of a race, we'll compile those results and push them up as a static page cached so that when you need it, it's available for you. It doesn't need to be computed on the fly. It will be much faster and scale much better. Just began with reimagining the website. We took a step back and said, how do people use this? How do people want to use it? And our initial vision of leveraging the web and getting your stats there, finding out a schedule and joining, that was a good one. And we want to continue to support that as much as possible. We're also making a change so that you'll be able to just double click on the application and fire up and go racing that way. Jump from one race to the next without even leaving the application. The good news is this is a whole new infrastructure, so we'll be able to release it in parallel, and you'll be able to use the existing member site you're comfortable with, but still fire up the application and get the new experience. And that will really help us because as good of a job we've done, there's still things we can learn. And by running it in parallel, we'll be able to collect that data and make it an even better experience. We'll be able to learn by your input. So with the preview of the user interface, you'll be able to use the new feature Time Attack and be able to experience some of the existing functionality, but we still haven't done everything, and that will come over time. We're going to have tighter integration with the sim in the back end than we ever have before. So as an example, in Time Attack, whenever there's a new best lap time, we take that lap data and we push it up into the cloud. What then happens is when you're in Time Attack, you're launching a session, you can pick anyone's best lap time and race against it, whether that be a friend or the leader in your current competition. When you fire up the sim, it will pull down that data and you can race against that lap time. We're looking forward to getting this out to you because we've been working on it for a really long time. But we're super excited about where we're going because this is only the beginning.
Welcome back to the Myrtle Beach Speedway as we're getting ready for your Myrtle Beach Simulation Series finale tonight with the Blue Ridge Napa Late Model Series. Coverage of the Myrtle Beach Simulation Series is brought to you by Blue Ridge Napa of Fort Chiswell, Virginia. Napa is your trusted source for automotive parts and accessories and know-how for your car, truck, or SUV. Shop online for original OEM and replacement parts at www.napaonline.com. Chris, this is our final race of the night, and basically we've never had these guys, or I don't think we've never had them, but it's unlikely to see these guys as the last event on the night. But I'm really excited to see all these cars here tonight for the 60 lap feature.
Yeah, the late model series never ceases to amaze me in the amount of racing, the amount of competition that all of these drivers bring to the table. You know, especially it being the last race of the night, a lot of the late racing leading up to it has been phenomenal, and it's just fitting for this late model series to cap off such an amazing night here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. So I cannot wait to get this race underway as we are off on the grid.
And as we begin here tonight, Dustin Turnage, he will get tonight's pole off the invert. And then it looks like Brandon Wilkinson, he will start second. Ricky Harden, he will start in the third position, with Gabe Wood starting fourth. Tommy Ryan will start fifth.
Sixth will go to Jacob Porter. Seventh, Jeremy Adams. Matt Cucker will go eighth. The 24 of Tyler Lugo Victory will be ninth, rounding out your top 10. The 4 of Randy Yoakum.
The 90 of Jeremy Watkins will roll off in 11th. 12th goes to the 17 of James Moss. Christian Peterson in that 23 car will roll off 13th. 14th goes to the 96 of Tanner Cook, and Paul Henley rolls off rounds out our 15 car field.
So as these cars begin to roll off pit road, they're getting their cars in gears, as you can probably hear them down pit road. Looking at through the field, this invert is definitely looking to put some really strong guys here towards the middle of the field. In a race like this, we've seen some massive fields. This one's toned down just a little bit what we normally see, but still a large field nonetheless for this speedway. But we'll see some of those drivers right in the middle of the field out for the invert, and they're gonna have to come right back to the top of the field.
They are in, and that invert really messes things up, and it really provides an extra level of competition for those like Christian Peterson and Matt Cucker, who really, if you look at Christian Peterson, who is so dominant in this series the past few weeks that they have come here, starting all the way back in the 13th position. We've seen him do it before. Expect nothing less out of those drivers, but he's got a whole heck of a lot of competition to go through before he can get up there with, you know, Brandon Wilkinson, who's had a phenomenal night in the 26 machine in second place. So he's got a lot of people to go through here tonight as well.
All right, the number 1 of Dustin Turnage will get his car in position, ready to go, as he'll have a lot of hungry drivers, 14 of them behind him here in the waiting moments of this 60 lap feature. We're glad to have you along, and the green flag is being displayed. He is gone, but not quick enough. Looks like Brandon Wilkinson will get the green flag, and oh wow, he's getting pounded from the back, from back, and it looks like that's the 15 of Ricky Harden, who absolutely clobbered the back end of the number 1. He was not going as fast as the 15 wanted him to, and that is going to create trouble here on this one. Looks like Gabe Wood's going to get around the 15 on the outside right here, and they're still doing battle double file behind them. Looks like for the 6th, 7th, and 8th place behind them.
Yeah, it looked like that one car just checked up a little early for that 15, and now he's diving way in onto the 26 of Brandon Wilkinson. It looks like Justin Turnage has got some good momentum now through the field. Going to see if he can get a nose on the inside of the 26. He is going into turn 1. Going to get to the inside. Going to throw that thing way down as the 26 really just arcs the corner and get some good momentum off, but not quite enough to get clear at the moment. So still another opportunity for Dustin Turnage to retake the race lead.
And this driver looking in the third position is actually Christian Peterson, 1 lap down. He did not get out there quickly enough for the grid, and so he is going to be sitting, looks like third, but it's really not, and he's in a bad position because those drivers in front of him are racing really hard for this lead, and it looks like the number 1 of Turnage, he will regain the lead. He will clear the 26 of Brendan Wilkinson, but Wilkinson's not done. He looks to the inside, and he's going to clip him into the outside wall. He goes.
Hard wreck for Dustin Turnage as race control will throw the caution. Huge wreck. They were all over each other, like you mentioned, Coop, for the entirety of the green flag run, and I guess Wilkinson was just trying to get that car upset, but just got a little bit too close to that left quarter panel as he ended up hitting it. And then you can see Turnage try to save it, just kind of overcorrected into the turn 1 wall and basically end that driver's night hard.
Yeah, not exactly what you wanted to see from the 2 drivers up front, and that will be pinned on Wilkinson. So that's going to probably be the end of the night for the number 1. He went straight to the outside wall, and I don't think you can... whenever he overcorrected the machine, I don't think he expected to really be hit there and to have so much of the car be turned at that moment, but nonetheless that's what's going to happen. And so it looks like Peterson will get the wave around as well, so seeing that he will get that, it's going to put him on even playing field for everybody else. So throughout the field, it's going to be Hardin and Gabe Wood that'll be chasing the cone car first.
Yeah, we'll have to see which lane that Hardin's going to select at the moment. It looked like that inside line was working pretty well for everyone there, but it seems like everyone kind of just really fanned out into their own area, but it seemed like the best advantage was to kind of come in a bit high and then arc down off of the turn 2 and try to see if you could launch yourself down that back straightaway.
Yeah, he was really, you know, just trying to get the run there. And as we look towards the cone car, Ricky Hardin gonna choose the inside. Gabe Wood also gonna elect the inside line. Just Jacob Porter is gonna elect to take the outside along with the 69 of Matt Cucker. Cucker always really good on those outside line restarts as we see the pace car go in and away, and we get ready here for the green flag once again. Ricky Hardin gonna lead them down to the field for the green.
And he's gone right off and away. Ricky Hardin gets a great start, but Jacob Porter going from where he was to the outside of the row number 1, and he's actually going to be able to keep first place. But look at Gabe Wood using those rumbles to his advantage, and he's going to be right next to the 00 of Gabe, or the number 3 of Jacob Porter. Those two fighting really hard for that position, and Gabe Wood's using all those rumbles to his advantage. I don't know if he'll be able to use those later on in the race, and Porter goes all the way down to the bottom of the track to block that part of the track. Don't know if that's the best way for momentum, but he definitely got the job done, slowed the momentum of the 00, and now be able to go to work on the 15. Porter's been one of those drivers to try, but has not been able to have the results he's been looking for as he's continuing to put the effort through. He's in second right now, and he's going to have a hard charging 69 and 00 right behind him.
And it looks like Matt Cucker not wanting to give up on that outside lane. He's really trying to make it work, keeping up his momentum and really forcing Gabe Wood to stay low on that track and not really able to maximize it. It nearly touched doors there as they got real close coming off a turn forward. Now it looks like the 69 will actually not quite get clear and almost a little loose on that outside, and it's going to kill a bit of his momentum and allow Gabe to claw back a little bit of track position. But it looks like this may be a losing fight for Gabe Wood.
Caution is going to be out on the track. Not exactly sure where that is. We'll have to take a look here, see exactly what the issue is.
Looks like Randy Yoakum got hit by the 26, possibly on the back straight.
And that is what it is going to be, Kelly. Just a little bit of contact by the 26 and the 4. Going to send the 4 around hard into the inside wall. Not as hard as I actually thought, but it's going to be a fair bit of damage to the front end of that 4 car as Randy Yoakum was able to really just bounce off the wall and get it back going. But Brandon Wilkinson having a tough night here trying to get by and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, that's really not quite what Ricky Harden wanted to see, because especially Jacob Porter as well. Jacob had a bit of a gap over Matt Cucker. Matt was kind of tangled up fighting with Gabe Wood, and now that Matt may be kind of free from them, he might be able to really take a challenge on the 3 and the 15, and we'll have to see who's going to select what lane. The 3 elected to go high that time and kind of put himself up into that second position, and he didn't quite make it work as well as he maybe hoped. Ricky Harden was able to hold on quite well on that inside, but if he goes to the inside, he's going to Matt Cucker's definitely going to take that outside lane, and Matt has shown that he can make that outside work.
Yeah, as the cone car will get up and is out this time by trying, or at least going to be able to see who will make their move. Well, or where Ricky Harden having a great race here tonight. Started at 3rd, going to be into the 4th. Looking at some into the 1st place position. Looking at some of our big movers, we've got Tanner Cook and Christian Peterson, 14th and 13th respectively, stayed together the entirety of this race. Going to be 7th and 8th on the grid inside the top 10, as the cone car is out this time by not much change, and Ricky Harden going to stay on the inside line. Jacob Porter going to stay on the outside, but this time Matt Cucker going to go on the inside with Ricky Harden.
And that's going to force Gabe Wood to be on the outside this time, and we haven't really seen what he can do out there. We saw maybe earlier on in this race, I think at the start, he kind of worked that outside for a little bit, but I'm kind of surprised that Matt Cucker elected to take that inside. He was able to work that outside quite well, but maybe he feels that he's going to be able to clear Gabe Wood on the inside and try to maybe see if he can keep Gabe Porter or Jacob Porter on the outside.
And looks like the 15 gets a great start once again, and that will lead. Looks like Matt Cucker would have the advantage, but Porter really throws it into turn number 1, and he's probably going to get himself clear of everyone behind him. Not quite. Touches the wall. You guys got to be careful. Porter's going to go from top to bottom, and it's not going to quite work. The move almost was there. Almost got the inside of the 15. He's going to throw it down there now. He's going to be right on the inside, right where he wants to be, and he's got himself a good position on the 15. So side by side for the lead. Porter and Harden going right at it, and the 69 of Cucker's right behind. Porter's really pushing the car hard right here in turn number 3.
Yeah, Porter wasting 0 time trying to get by that 15 machine, as the 15 is going to make contact with the door of Jacob Porter, but that's only going to slow Ricky Harden down, as now he's going to lose 2 positions. 1 to Jacob Porter, and Matt Cucker slides just up in front of the nose of that 15 machine. Look at Matt Cucker making quick work, as now he tries to have his sights set on the 3 of Jacob Porter and, you know, get that lead for the first time. Meanwhile, back in the pack just a little bit, Tanner Cook, Tommy Ryan doing battle, and just behind them Christian Peterson and Jeremy Adams doing battle as well. So battles all throughout the track here, Coop, as everybody is trying to use this restart to their advantage.
There's very little room for mistakes, as we just saw. Looks like the 6 and the 9 actually just door banged on the front straightaway, but they're so close in the corners, you just cannot make any mistake. And so those guys, oh, Porter made a mistake right there as your leader. He got really loose at turn number 1 or turn number 2, and I have a feeling it has to do with the fact that he's really driving in the corners hot. If you look at their difference in line, you're going to see that Porter will throw it all the way down, and he's a hard driver to pass. He's not going to be one that'll let Matt Cucker by easily. Jacob does not let anybody over very easily, but Matt's got the inside line. Porter's not going to be able to chop down that much in order to sustain his first position, but he's doing well on the outside. He's going to be able to keep the position, but Porter, after a small mistake, he will be able to keep that first position after 22 laps of competition.
Yeah, he's got to keep one eye in that rearview mirror, as Matt Cucker getting some great momentum off of turn 2. Elects to not attempt a move that time. I was expecting him to dive for the inside, as he had some great momentum off of turn 2 that time around, but we'll have to see if he'll make an attempt. Look at the 15 lost a bit of traction back there. That's going to allow Gabe Wood to make a move to the inside. He's going to try to see if he can take 3rd place, but he hits those rumbles down there and loses a bit of traction, loses some ground. He's got now under attack from the 96, and he makes a little bit of contact with the 96 as well, as those guys are really battling for positions.
I think Gabe has a problem because he ran over those rumbles, and those aren't really the greatest thing for your car. I mean, you can do it in the U car, but I don't think you can do it in these cars. And he lost that position almost immediately to Tanner. I don't know if that was a courtesy for hitting him or not, but he's got to be really careful, because that can really ruin the bottom of the car. It can bottom out and rip out the bottom side of the car. So nonetheless, looks like he will continue to keep fighting against him and the 6. And that lead is also going to be still the same as it is. Top 5 is as follows: Porter, Cucker, Harden, Cook, and Wood. It looks like Ryan and Adams just outside that top 5 are going to go side by side. But look at the lead. Looks like Matt Cucker's going to the inside. They both slide in the same manner, and they're going to come out of turn 2 side by side.
Yeah, both slide once again coming out of turn 2, almost connect, but you know, able to avoid each other just enough to get through the corner. Basically, is now Matt Cucker's got to get back to the door of Jacob Porter, trying everything he can. You see him going down, almost clips those rumble strips going down, and then they do make contact that time on the back straightaway. Matt Cucker really wants this lead, trying on the bottom, as we really don't see him really try the bottom that much here. Coop, he's normally one of those highline racers who likes to run that middle groove, trying to get around people on the top side, but this time trying to make the quick work of Jacob Porter, just not gonna quite do it. Jacob Porter using the momentum on the high side to his advantage. If they keep racing like this, they're gonna allow that 15 machine of Ricky Harden to creep back into the picture.
Oh, looks like the 3 of Porter tried to really push down on the 69, and I think he might be trying a crossover move down into turn number 3. He's not really going to have the momentum to do it, I don't think. He's going to probably stall up just a bit short, and so that's going to be the lead right there. Porter will fall to 2nd place here, and I'm going to say I actually probably saw that one coming, just for the fact that the 3 has been pushing the car really hard, and that rear end of, or the front end, or the right sides really are really starting to lose themselves, and you can see each corner he's just a little loose, and he's diving it more than anyone else is willing to do. But I think he's able to be a little bit, he's just hard to pass in general, and I think that's why it took Matt Cucker a long time to pass. Is Matt Cucker can typically try the outside, but Porter was there on the outside, so Porter's starting to lose some ground because those tires are just not as strong as they used to be, and Ricky Hard is trying to make work of him, and then you've got Tanner Cook right behind him, and Gabe Woods kind of rallied back now.
Yeah, I think that's going to be some problems for the 3 and the 69 later on in this race, is when they were fighting about time they really both pushed their cars to the absolute limit, and we saw them both slide a couple times, which really, when you've got a 60-lap race, you need to take care of those tires, and I think that's going to be something that's going to come back to bite them later on. So possibly the 3 may have had better luck deciding to lose the battle and win the war just by giving up that position to Matt Cucker and trying to get him back later, but he really pushed as hard as he could. Those tires are absolutely cooked, especially those right sides, and that may be an advantage for Ricky Harden, as he's not quite gonna doesn't really have the momentum yet to pass the 3, but I think that 3 is gonna wear out later on.
I will say that Porter is reserving his tires more than he has so far in the race, so I will say that he is watching the line of Cucker and possibly following in suit. Well, the Cucker is almost an entire lane off the very bottom of the track, which is what no one else is doing. It's where the speed is, but it's also where the tire management is coming into play, and I don't think anyone's running on the very bottom of the track anymore, which is definitely pivotal. And realistically, some of these guys are just holding on for dear life, and Porter might be one of them.
Yeah, Porter definitely holding on for dear life, as he coming across the radio just a little bit saying not really, they're gone. So definitely having some tire trouble there for that 3 machine, having to defend off Ricky Harden, as Matt Cucker able to drive away from the field late in the race. What he does best here, Coop, saves his stuff to the very end to just push and pull away very, very quickly, as we're seeing now. Now Ricky Harden going to look towards the inside of Jacob Porter, not going to quite make the move as he gets loose. Jacob Porter gets loose this time coming off of turns 1 and 2, but able to stick in front of the 15 machine. Look at Tanner Cook eking his way up there to the battle, so this battle might be shaping up for something pretty good, as now Ricky Harden's gonna put the nose there and get there, but get loose and keep Jacob Porter in front of him just for a little bit longer.
Yeah, Porter able to keep the 15 behind him, but all while they're worried about each other, Matt Cucker has pulled himself an 8/10 lead over these guys. It's a very big lead, and look at Tanner Cook with the move to the bottom of the track with the 15, and he's going to have the positioning. I don't think he's going to have the momentum, and he's going to tag the 15. They go into contact, and he is still going to be side by side. They both somehow come out easy with it. I don't know how he didn't wreck right there, but he had his door on his right front. That's typically a 15 going around, and the 96 getting a lot of damage from it. So those two continuing, and look at Gabe Wood. He has a pristine looking car except for that right front, and they are still, oh, looks like the 15 on the outside wall just a little bit. That's gonna let Gabe Wood get into the picture, and maybe the 96 will pull away. Still, this is great for the number 3. He's gonna be able to pull away from these guys as we have just under 20 laps to go.
Yeah, Gabe Wood just trying to see if he can follow Tanner Cook through here. But at the moment, the 15 of Ricky Harden is really holding on. But you have to wonder if he hits that wall one more time, that's going to be some serious problems for him. That could slow up and kill all of his momentum. That 96 would get by, and then the 00 would get by. But they're also, as they're battling, they are still kind of catching up to Jacob Porter. Oh, there's a bit of a slide from the 96, and he's going to tag the 15. 15 goes sideways, somehow saves that car, but he's going to lose 2 spots off of that right there. But it's nearly could have lost much more. Some great wheel work from the 15 to save the car, but Ricky Harden losing a lot of ground there.
Yeah, I think that had a little bit to do with the contact with the 96 right there. But what you're talking about with the wall is definitely true for the 15, but it's true for almost every car that comes here. For some reason, that wall really likes to grab these drivers, and so definitely has to be careful. It doesn't matter what's on the front stretch or the back stretch. For some reason, this wall likes to just pull people. And oh, Porter's going to get really loose out of turn number 2, and looks like Cook's not going to let him have it this time. Cook gets into him in the middle of the back straightaway, and Porter is absolutely fighting to hold that thing together. He's going to probably spin this one out, and he saves it 3 wide on the front stretch. And he's going to tag Wood right there. Wood's going to go up the track, and he's going to be really loose. Wood's not going to be happy about that, but that is going to give Porter, or that's going to take Porter back many positions, and that's going to give Tanner Cook a humongous breath of fresh air, because now he has no one in front of him, and Matt Cucker is just smiling ear to ear, and that's a big deal for all these drivers. That kind of sets some of them apart, but now Porter's going to have to really fight, as he's already got a fairly hard task in front of him as it is. But looking back up front, Wood's got to try and get that position back from Harden, as he almost had it in the first place. But Tanner Cook, he came out like a rose on that one.
Yeah, Porter definitely struggling. That run was making contact with Wood just a little bit there. Still couldn't keep it under control and hit Jeremy Adams, but now he's got a lot of positions to try to fight for back in the 7th position. Ricky Harden it still has to fight off Gabe Wood, because although Gabe Wood did get tagged, he didn't really lose that much momentum or that much time off of the 15 machine. But look, just behind Wood, Christian Peterson trying to make a late race charge, started 13th all the way up into the top 5 now, trying to get by that 00 machine. Not gonna quite be there just yet, but we got a 3-car battle for the 3rd place position as Ricky Harden gets just a little bit loose off of turn 4.
Yeah, that battle between himself and Gabe Wood is coming into the picture, and right now Gabe Wood's going to try and look to the inside. He's going to be there, but the 15 is going to go a little bit higher, try and keep the momentum clear. And Gabe Wood right now at this point, he's going to keep trying to find an advantage of some sort between these two guys. And to give a little bit of an update on Porter, he actually got tagged pretty heavily by the 89 of Jeremy Adams, and he was not happy about it, because that sent him all the way back to the 9th position, and so Porter and him just not very happy. And right now this battle for 3rd is where all the action is, and the 15 gets slide happy into turn number 1. Gabe Wood's got to be happy about that, because if he can see that happening again, he might be able to pounce on it.
Yeah, he's going to try to keep himself close enough to the 15 that he can make an attempt to make a move, but the 23 is getting onto him now, and the 23 of Christian Peterson is also followed by Tommy Ryan. So when you're driving with 2 really fast guys behind you, you got to make sure every single move that you attempt is going to be a move that works, because if it doesn't work out for you, you're not going to be able to slot back into where you were. Those 2 guys are just going to go right by you, and that's going to be really an uphill battle to try to get back around them. So Gabe Wood's just going to have to hope that he can force Ricky Harden to make a mistake and just kind of go through the gap, because I think if he were to try to make a move to the outside right now, unless Ricky Harden slows up intensely, that 23 is just going to go right around him.
Yeah, Peterson's right there. Got to remember, he came in out of the pit road 1 lap down and got that lucky dog with one of the cautions earlier on. So he's made his way back up into the top 5 after starting basically dead last on the field. And he's actually in the outside wall, and the 6 got a little bit of a piece of that one as well. He tagged the 23, and I'd have to say that Peterson's really pushing this car. So 5 laps to go is what it's going to be, and Peterson hits the wall again. The 6 is on his inside right here into turn number 1. And so now that gives a little breathing room for the 0-0. Peterson back on the charge, and he is very, very wiggle happy, but looks like the battle for 3rd still kind of there. Wood's losing a little bit of ground on the 15, but that battle for 5th place is pretty heated as well.
Yeah, it's really heating up. Tommy Ryan getting into the back of the 23 of Christian Peterson, trying to get the run on that driver as he knows laps are winding down. We're getting ready to cross 3 to go here. Coop, this race has completely flown by, and so has Matt Cucker, all the way up to a 1.3 second lead over Tanner Cook, who has nobody around him either. The closest battle you're going to have is going to be Ricky Harden versus Gabe Wood. Gabe Wood still trying to get up to that 15 machine, I should say, trying to get back there. Is the 6 of Tommy Ryan going to be on the inside of Christian Peterson, trying to get the position now with 2 to go. He's gonna be there, gonna slide up the track a lot, gonna lose a whole bunch of momentum, but it's gonna slow the 23 machine up as well.
Tommy Ryan having a battle like he did in the last race with the 23, but it's all eyes up front. It's eyes on Matt Cucker. Will get back with that battle for 3rd and 5th place later on, but Matt Cucker has had himself an outstanding season, and he has absolutely dominated a lot of the series in this Myrtle Beach Simulation Series, and he will get his 7th win in the Blue Ridge Auto Parts Late Model Stock Series, and he will get his 3rd win on the night. Fantastic evening for Matt Cucker, and he will get a big gap between himself, Brandon Wilkinson, and Christian Peterson. As each race he wins, it's that much closer to gaining himself a championship after 60 laps here tonight.
Yeah, and going back to those battles that we were watching, Tommy Ryan ended up getting past Christian Peterson, who got into the wall off of turn 2, lost a lot of momentum, which allowed that 6 to get around. Ricky Harden will end up holding off Gabe Wood, and that'll hold him for the 3rd position. So some good battling from all 4 of those drivers, but really there just wasn't enough time for these guys to catch up to Matt Cucker, who really just walked away with his race.
Yeah, once all the action started happening, it was all eyes in the front to say that Matt Cucker was gone. 1.5 seconds was the difference between himself and Tanner Cook, where Tanner Cook will finish 2nd here on tonight's on this feature event of the finale tonight. And then Ricky Harden finishes 3rd. Gabe Wood will finish 4th, and then Tommy Ryan, like you said, he rallied to get right back past Christian Peterson when it mattered the most.
Yeah, it was such an interesting race. You know, what a great drive by Matt Cucker, and also, you know, Tanner Cook finished 2nd. We didn't talk about him throughout the back half of the race, considering he was able to move away and get away from everybody. But you know, Tanner Cook able to start 14th, I should say, finished 2nd. So definitely the biggest mover from tonight's race. Had a phenomenal race, and as well as Matt Cucker, who goes without saying is always a competitive driver in this series, and any series he chooses to step into. So congratulations to Matt Cucker on the win.
Looking at the rest of the field, you had Christian Peterson finishing 6th, Brandon Wilkinson 7th, Adams finished 8th, Porter 9th, Tyler Lugo Vickery finished 10th, with Jeremy Watkins, Randy Yoakum, Paul Henley, James Moss, and Dustin Turnage rounding out the top 15, or, well, not the top 15, the entire 15-car field, and we will get a hold of Matt Cucker once more tonight. Matt, what an event, what a night you had tonight, 3 on the night, and an exclamation mark for the end of the night. And this is a big push for you to get this championship, as you had, it looks like, a 37-point lead coming tonight, and even furthered your point lead tonight.
Yeah, that was the main goal, was to come in and try to be in front of Christian, and be in front of Wilkinson at the same time, and try to get a more point lead on him, because 37 points, that isn't that much. I mean, I was down 35 points And in 2 weeks, I caught CP, and then he had those failures with his computer, and I was able to pass him. So 35 points ain't that much, but tonight with this being double points, it means a lot, and hopefully we're a little bit closer to clinching.
Double points night on all the races tonight, and it's definitely huge because not only do you get a big lead, but you double what you would have had. And any position lost between any of your competitors, and Christian Peterson lost a position on the last lap, it's only going to help you even more. So, Matt, you had a great night tonight, and we'll give you the floor for any other kind of things. Shout out, say, we give you the floor every single time, but is there anyone extra special you have to give a shout out to? Is it always business as usual for you?
It's always business. I mean, except for the people that are watching at home. I mean, it's always good to put on a show, and hopefully we were able to do that tonight.
All right, there you have it. Matt Cucker wins third on the night, and I think this is going to be your 7th win on the Blue Ridge late model division. So, congratulations on that, and we'll look forward to having more great times with you on the series.
I hope so. Thank you, guys.
There you have it, and that will conclude all of the racing tonight. 5 races, over 200 laps, or almost 200 laps of competition tonight, and well done by all these drivers. And we saw some really close moments, and to be honest, we didn't really see any big wrecks tonight. It was all relatively small. I think the biggest wreck we had was 2 cars at the most. So tonight was a very clean night that we had, and these guys got the job done.
Yeah, they did, and it was a very, very fast night of racing. Just about 2 hours of non-stop action here tonight at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. A lot of series, a lot of winners. Matt Cucker taking home 2 victories here today. Just a phenomenal racing night in general. Great to be back with the Myrtle Beach simulation series, back with championship esports series, and great to be here in 2018. Can't wait to see how the rest of the year, the rest of the season turns out.
Yeah, for all of us in the racing community, we'd once again, as we said at the top of the broadcast, we want to wish everyone another happy New Year, as it's our first stream on the 2018 side. And Kelly, this is your first evening with us at the Myrtle Beach Speedway simulation series. How was it for you?
It was absolutely a fantastic night. Every single class was really just full of action. There was a lot of classes here that you wouldn't really expect to see on a speedway like this. I mean, you don't really see the MX-5s going around in the circle too often, but those actually put on a surprisingly fun race, and a lot of these guys are very competitive and really just out here to bump fenders and bend some sheet metal to go for the win. So everyone out here pushing as hard as they could and really just put on a fantastic show.
Well, from all of us here at LSRTV, Evan Pasoko, Laura Lawson, DJ, Cisco, myself, Chris, and Kelly, we do want to thank you for sticking it up with us tonight for all 5 races. As all of your winners, list them off: Matt Cucker, Brandon Wilkinson, Matt Cucker again, Christian Peterson, and again, Matt Cucker, as he won 3 of the events tonight with the Legends, Mini Stocks, Chargers, Super Trucks, and Late Models here for the Championship Esport Association. So we will see you in a later time, and we'll see you all at the next track tomorrow, Thursday, the Upstate Racing League.